Now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you stand. Gentlemen, please remove your caps from playing the national anthem. Come on, Rich.
That's our national anthem here from Karns High School, getting set for Oak Ridge High School baseball against the Karns Beavers. Our live stream on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. The two teams have been introduced out on the field. We've had the national anthem. I'll run down the starting lineups. First of all, for the visiting Oak Ridge Wildcats, leading things off and playing center field will be Matthew Swigert. Batting second will be the left fielder, Alex McNaughton. Batting third and pitching will be Jacob Franklin. Batting fourth and playing first base for the Wildcats will be Jonathan Milloway. Batting fifth and playing third base will be Logan Rosenberger for Oak Ridge. The designated hitter tonight will be Bryce Ludwikowski. He'll be hitting for the second baseman, Jason Slade. Batting seventh and playing, looks like center field for the Wildcats, or left field for the Wildcats, will be Caden Updegraff. Bryson Parks will be the catcher, hitting eighth, and batting ninth will be the shortstop, Caden Black. For the Karns Beavers, leading things off for them will be Clayton Hogstead. He'll be playing left field. Batting second will be the right fielder, Jamie Bell. Batting third will be the pitcher, Dylan Owens. Batting fourth and playing center field will be Jackson Futen. Batting fifth and playing second base will be Cole Barnes. Batting sixth will be the third baseman, Timmy Harper. The designated hitter will be Caleb Giroux. He'll be hitting for Noah Powell, the shortstop. Batting eighth will be the first baseman, Tyler Millsaps. And batting ninth will be the catcher, Harrison Garrett. And we're about to get underway here from Karns, live on our YouTube stream on Prep Radio. I know a lot of people might have tuned in to the Covering the Bases show, which is on BBB Channel 12 right now, featuring Mitchell Gibbons and Jacob Franklin. That can be seen several times, including at midnight tonight. It'll also be shown next Wednesday. We had to tape the show because of the baseball game today. Karns trying to sweep the Wildcats here. They won last night in Oak Ridge. Now Oak Ridge will lead things off with the center fielder, Matthew Swigert. Leading hitter on the team, leading RBI man. Got 2 home runs on the year. Batting from the right side, he is a senior facing Dylan Owens, and we're about to get underway here from Karns High School. The first pitch, evidently just a little bit outside or inside. The count is no balls and 1 strike. Kind of at a different angle here to see it. No balls, one ball, no strikes the count. No score, just underway. That pitch is a called strike, and that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Beautiful night here in Karns. Good turnout of fans here watching this District 3 matchup between two rivals from several years as the pitch is hit on the ground to the third baseman and past him in the left field. So Matthew Swigert hits one like a bullet. And the Wildcats have their leadoff man aboard. Their leading base stealer on the year, and the Wildcats will send to the plate Alex McNaughton. McNaughton is a junior player for the Wildcats. Just underway here from Karns. Streaming this game live on YouTube right now on our Prep Radio channel. Appreciate the people at Karns allowing us to do it here. Had some nice talks with the administration today about it, and they were more than happy to allow us to stream the ball game. As McNaughton stands in, right-handed hitter. He's a junior. And the throw over to first, and back safely will go Matthew Swigert. I'll set the defense in a moment for the Karns Beavers. Third baseman is in on the grass at third. Swigert is liable to go at any time. He has childhood friends with the catcher for the Karns Beavers. Here's another quick throw over to first, and back safely will go Matthew Swigert. We're broadcasting in the Karns section. I hope that doesn't annoy too many people as we sit up here. No count as of yet to Alex McNaughton. Owens to the plate, pitches high, a quick throw down, and Matthew Swigert is back at first base. Oak Ridge and Karns, the rivalry started in football back in the 40s. They've been in the same district in baseball and basketball since the early 70s. Scoreless ball game just underway, top of the first. Runner going, pitch is going to be a strike. Here's the throw, and he is out as he slides past, and Matthew Swigert is caught stealing 2-6, and that is the first out of the inning. And the count will be 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to McNaughton. On deck for the Wildcats will be the pitcher, Cody Franklin. Nobody aboard now, 1 out. McNaughton in with a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Pitch is hit on the ground up the middle. That's another base hit. So the Wildcats will have yet another person on base here. But a nice throw and by Harrison Garrett just nailed Matthew Swigert with ease. 1 out, runner at first, and the batter will be the pitcher, Cody Franklin. Cody is a junior. We had an opportunity to speak to him on our Covering the Bases show, which is currently airing, if you're watching this live, over on Channel 12, Comcast. Good lead at first for McNaughton. Franklin played third last night, pitching tonight, takes a strike on the inside corner at the knees, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Travis Free is the head coach of Oak Ridge in his 3rd season as the skipper of the Wildcats. Good size lead once again, and McNaughton is chased back to the bag. 1 strike the count. Jacob will be followed by Jonathan Milloway. Hit a home run yesterday, accounting for the Wildcats' run in the ballgame at Bobby Hopkins Field. Owens throws over to first once again. Karns very cognizant of the fact that the Wildcats like to run. They like to run early in counts. We saw Matthew Swigert just a moment ago gunned down for the first out in the inning. McNaughton takes his lead once again. 1 strike the count. Hit right to off the pitcher. He's going to field it, going to run to the bag. Underhand toss to first base, and that is out number 2. So hard hit ball right back to the pitcher, and the Karns coaching staff out to make sure that Dylan is okay. That is the 2nd out of the inning. The batter will be the first baseman, Jonathan Milloway. Ball was hit like a shot right back to him. I believe he's okay, although coach making sure he is, the umpire out to make sure that they're talking, both umpires are out to make sure they're just talking about an injury situation. And I believe Dylan Owens will be okay here, and he'll return to the mound. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Scoreless ball game. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge have a runner in scoring position in second base in the person of Alex McNaughton. But it'll take a 2-out hit here as Milloway will stand in for the Wildcats. He's a right-handed hitter. They list him at 6'7". 1,000-point performer for Oak Ridge in basketball. Has signed to play basketball at Carnegie Mellon, a very prestigious school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he'll be moving on after graduation in late May. Here's the pitch to Milloway. Cut on and missed. Count is no balls and 1 strike. Logan Rosenberger's on deck for Oak Ridge, but as I mentioned, there are 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Milloway stands in, wears the same number he did in basketball, 2-1. Dylan checks the runner, comes to the plate, hit on the ground, that's in the hole. Alex McNaughton is going to come around third, and he's going to score run number 1 for the Wildcats. So it's an RBI single for Jonathan Milloway, and the 3rd hit of the inning, and the Wildcats have the lead as McNaughton comes around to score, and it's 1-0 Oak Ridge. Solid single there for Jonathan Milloway, and Oak Ridge takes a 1-0 lead. Batter now will be the third baseman, Logan Rosenberger.
Number 4,
Logan was the pitcher of record last night might have deserved a better fate here. Karns hit the ball well, but the Wildcats committed a lot of errors behind him, and he suffered the loss for the Wildcats. Milloway, the base runner at first, takes his lead off of first. 1-0 Oak Ridge, top of the first. The pitch is outside. Quick throw, and Jonathan Milloway is back to the bag at first. As I mentioned, Milloway will be going to Carnegie Mellon University. Very prestigious, very, as I said many times, smart person school. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Rosenberger, the pitch. Oh, looks like a little outside, according to the umpire. And the count is 2 balls and no strikes. On deck for the Wildcats will be the designated hitter, Bryce Ludwikowski, junior Wildcat, transfer from upstate New York. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch. Outside. 3 balls and no strikes. 3 runners have reached base safely in the inning. 1 was caught stealing. 1 scored. 1's at first. 3 balls, no strikes to count. Rosenberger back in. Let's see if he's taking all the way. Here's the pitch. He is, and it's down low, ball 4. So down to first will go Logan Rosenberger, and down to second for the Wildcats will go Jonathan Milloway. And the batter will be the designated hitter, sometime first baseman Bryce Ludwikowski. Bryce is hitting today for the second baseman, Jason Slay, who played in the junior varsity ball game right before this. Sophomores playing second today when the Wildcats take the field later. Bryce stands in. Right-handed throwing Dylan Owens on the hill for the Karns Beavers, wearing their blue jerseys with white and some gold. The Wildcats wearing their Cardinal jerseys, white baseball pants, and gray numerals. Pitch right off the outside of the plate, I guess too low, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Owens checks the runner Milloway at second. The 1-0 pitch. Called a strike on the inside corner, about thigh level, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs here, 2 on for Oak Ridge. 1 run in, top of the first inning. Streaming the game live on YouTube right now on our Prep Radio channel. Ludwikowski steps back in. Here's the pitch to him. Breaking pitch in there for a called strike, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bryce will be followed by Caden Updegraff for the Wildcats, but it'll take a Bryce getting on base somehow because there are 2 outs. 1-2 pitch. Inside corner, called strike 3, and that is out number 3. So the Wildcats played a run. They do it on a couple of hits. We go to the bottom half of the first inning here in Karns. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top of the Karns Beavers, 1-0, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Karns High School. Beautiful baseball facility, Dwight Smith Field. I remember when Dwight Smith was the head baseball coach at Karns. Actually built the other field, which was over at the middle school, and they kind of built around it. That was a beautiful facility at the middle school several years ago. Haven't seen Dwight Smith. I hope he's still doing well. Haven't seen him in several years, as Jacob Franklin is the pitcher for the Wildcats. And leading things off for Karns, the first pitch is hit foul. Over the top of the Oak Ridge bleachers is Clayton Hogstad. He is playing the outfield for the Karns Beavers. Right-handed hitter. Stands in. 1-0 our score, bottom of the first inning. Franklin has the sign from Bryson Parks, the catcher. Here's the one-strike pitch down low. And that evens the count at 1-1 strike. Parks is catching for Oak Ridge. Jonathan Milloway is playing first base. Jason Slay is the second baseman. Caden Black is at short. Logan Rosenberger is at third. Here's the pitch, hit on the ground, shortstop. The freshman fields it, has to forward quickly, and not in time. That is an infield single. Caden had a little trouble out of his glove, and by the time the speedy runner Hogstad got down to first, he was safe. And the Beavers have their leadoff man aboard here with nobody out. And the batter will be Jamie Bell. He is playing right field for them. Runner at first, representing the tying run. 1-0 our score as we play here at Karns. Franklin, right-handed throwing sophomore, has the sign, the pitch. Bunted right back to the pitcher. He has a play at second. Nobody covering the bag, though, but they do get the sacrifice bunt down. Nobody went to cover the bag there, but it is a sacrifice for Bell, and he is out 1-3. Moving down to second will be Hogstad. The batter now will be the pitcher, Dylan Owens. So now the tying runners in scoring position, and one out now, and Owens stands in. Infield a little bit in. Pitches down low a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Wildcats are scheduled to play, I believe, Harriman tomorrow. I think that's the schedule. The weather forecast not looking too good for tomorrow. Wildcats scheduled to play Stone Memorial on Friday on the road. Here's the 1-0 pitch, hit foul over to the right side, off the screen. The count is even at 1-1 strike. 1-0 Oak Ridge. Here's we play here at Karns on this beautiful Wednesday night. Franklin checks the runner at second. Good lead. 1-1 pitch. Inside. And the count is 2-1. So I mentioned there's a really nice crowd here. A lot of students here. Primarily here from Karns. I don't see a whole lot of Oak Ridge students here, but a lot of younger people here from the Karns community watching their Beavers play. Here's the pitch, hit on the ground. The second baseman, Jason Slay, feels it, throws high, but Jonathan Milloway is tall, and that is out number 2. Moving over to third was Hogstad once again. So that is out number 2, and the batter now will be the center fielder. Fielden is the batter. I believe that's I was trying to read their score sheet, and it was hard to read. I'll get verification on that in a moment. 2 outs, runner at third, representing the tying run. Franklin trying to get out of trouble here in the first inning. Checks the runner, pitch low and inside, and the count is 1 ball and no strikes. Runner at third for Karns. 2 outs. 1-0 Wildcats. Franklin from the stretch, and the sophomore comes to the play. There's a called strike, and the count is even at 1-1 strike. This will complete the season series with the Beavers. They could hook up again in the district tournament in May, but this will be the final regular season game between as the ball is hit on the ground. Shortstop Caden Black. Freshman throws on the first in time for out number 3. So nice play by Caden Black and a nice stretch there by Jonathan Milloway. So we've played 1 complete inning here at Karns High School. 1-0 Oak Ridge. We're broadcasting on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We'll be back to Karns in a moment. Welcome back once again to Karns, top half of the second inning. About to get underway, and Caden Updegraff will be the leadoff man for the Wildcats. Caden has hit all over the order for Oak Ridge this year. Hit second and third, and now hitting in the number 7 slot for Oak Ridge. First pitch swing was a ball. The second one is a called strike, and that evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the second, as I mentioned, just a beautiful night here. Pleasant temperatures here at Karns. Nice rolling hills in the background. Pleasant place to watch a ball game as Caden rips one to right field. It's over the right fielder's head and rolling to the fence. Caden Updegraff is heading towards second. He's getting the stop sign there, and it's a leadoff double for Caden Updegraff. So actually the Wildcats have hit the ball well here in the early going. That one hit on the nose over the right fielder's head, and the Wildcats have another runner in scoring position, and the batter will be the catcher. That'll be Bryson Parks. Parks is another junior. Wildcats don't play many seniors. In fact, as I look at the rosters, 1, 2, there are 2 seniors playing today for Oak Ridge. Right-handed hitter, runner at second. Updegraff takes his lead off of second. Dylan Owens on the mound for the Karns Beavers checks the runner, and the first pitch to Parks. Wanted a bunt, takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. Parks will be followed by Caden Black and Coach Travis Free's lineup. 1 strike the count. Nobody out. Runner at second. Here's the pitch to Parks. That's high. About letter high, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Scoreboard operator, kind of like me sometimes. He's asleep at the wheel here. Not putting the, there he goes. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Updegraff takes his leave off of second. Dylan checks the runner at second. And the 1-1 pitch. You're going to try to pick off play, and he was caught leaning coming towards third, but he was able to get back under the tag, and the count still is 1-1. Caden yet to take his lead off a second. There he goes. Once again, the shortstop for the Karns Beavers sneaks in slightly behind him. Parks back in. 1 ball, 1 strike to him. Squares to bunt, hits it right back to the first baseman. Good sacrifice bunt. Throw on the first in time for out number 1. Good sacrifice bunt there for the Wildcat catcher. Moving over to third is Updegraff. Good play by the Beaver pitcher. And that is out number 1. And the batter will be the freshman shortstop, Caden Black. He stands in for the Wildcats. Good hitting freshman player. Not very big right now, but as I mentioned, he's only a freshman. He's had several family members play ball at Oak Ridge over the years. And he stands in, left-handed hitting freshman, as I mentioned. Runner at third, Caden Updegraff. 1 out now. The pitch to Black is hit on the ground to the pitcher. They're going to come home with a play. The pitch, the catch is made, and Caden Updegraff going on contact is gunned down at the plate. Fielder's choice there for Black. He'll reach base safely, but more importantly for the Beavers, Updegraff is gunned down pitcher to catcher, and that is the second out of the inning. And back to the top of the order we go to the center fielder, Matthew Swigert. Matthew reached base on a single back in the first inning, was erased, caught stealing in the first inning for the first out. Got 2 outs here in the top of the second. Caden takes his lead off of first. The pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes the count. In the second inning, the Beavers will have looks like their 5, 6, and 7 hitters. They'll lead things off with Barnes, then Harper, then Giroux. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Here's a quick throw, and Caden quickly back to the bag. Harrison Garrett doesn't mind throwing down the first. Gunned out a runner already in the ball game. Keeping them close. Black will take his lead off of first again. 2 balls, no strikes to count to Matthew Swigert. Swigert played baseball in Little League in the Karns community. He takes a breaking pitch in there for a called strike, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the second. 1-0 Oak Ridge. Barely underway here at Karns. Caden Black takes his lead. He reached on a fielder's choice. He's at first. Swigert hits the ball on the infield, straight up in fair territory. The first baseman makes the catch for out number 3. Wildcats get a leadoff double, and he's gunned down at the plate. Wildcats fail to score in the second. We go to the bottom half of the inning here at Karns. 1-0 Wildcats, and we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back once again to Karns High School. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. In Karns, 1-0. Oak Ridge on top of the Beavers. It'll be the second baseman, Cole Barnes, leading things off against Jacob Franklin. Jacob did a pretty good job keeping the ball on the ground in the first inning. And he has a 1-0 lead here. Left-handed hitter, Barnes stands in. Leadoff man here in the second inning. First pitch to him is look low, but it called a strike. No balls, 1 strike to count. Nobody aboard, nobody out here. Bottom of the second. Barnes back in, 1 strike to count. Pitch is a called strike at the belt, and Jacob Franklin ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. McNaughton's playing left for the Wildcats. Weigert's in center. Upton Graff is out in right field for Oak Ridge. Bryson Parks gives the sign to Jacob Franklin, and the sophomore comes to the plate, hit foul. Back to the screen, and the count remains at no balls and 2 strikes. Christian Roses Rodriguez doing our camera work today here at Karns. Jordan Osborne, Neo, and Lee have all helped us in our baseball coverage this year. Something different. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. High and outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Cole Barnes. Timmy Harper is on deck for the Beavers. He plays third base for Karns. He's in the on-deck circle right here in front of us as we broadcast from the Karns side here. 1-2 pitch. Hit in the air, foul. Once again out of play, drifting over the Karns dugout and out of play. And the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Oak Ridge comes in at 5-2 in district play. A loss to Halls and a loss to the Karns Beavers last night in Oak Ridge. Jacob Franklin has the sign. Here's another 1-2 pitch. This one way outside. And the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The area around Karns High School is really growing up. A lot of houses, a lot of condos and apartments going in. Used to be all pasture land really out here as the ball is hit towards the Oak Ridge dugout and fielded by one of the Wildcat coaches, and he flings it back into Jacob Franklin, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. You know, just behind us here, you can see all kinds of new housing, and they made new roads here, access roads to this high school. It's really nice. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes Franklin's pitch, hit on the ground. Second baseman Jason Slay fields it cleanly, throws on to first in time for out number 1. So Barnes is retired 4-3 if you're scoring at home. And the batter now will be the third baseman, Timmy Harper. He stands in. He's a right-handed hitter. The Beavers wearing their blue pinstripes, white pants with blue stripes. blue jerseys with white and gold. One out here, nobody aboard in the second. 1-0 Oak Ridge. Harper stands in. Franklin comes to the plate, cut on and missed, and the count is no balls and one strike. One thing that Jacob does, he keeps the ball low and gets a lot of ground balls that way. Very seldom is he up in the strike zone. Isn't a flamethrower by any stretch of the imagination, but he keeps the ball low. Here's the one-strike pitch, hit foul. And out of play, way out of play, and the count is no balls and two strikes. Nobody aboard, one out here in the bottom of the second. Here from Karns in a game we are streaming live on our Prep Radio YouTube channel. No balls, two strikes. Karns dugout making a lot of noise to my left. Pitches outside and low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Harper will be followed by their designated hitter. Looks like Caleb Giroux, and he's hitting for the shortstop Noah Powell today. No balls, or 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitches low and outside. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Scoreboard off a ball there. It's 2-2. 1 out, nobody aboard. Timmy Harper back in for Karns. Parks with a sign. Franklin to the plate. Way outside. Ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So a little bit of a control issue. All of a sudden for Jacob Franklin. Requests another ball from the umpire. 3 balls and 2 strikes the count. Christian, the scoreboard is wrong. It says 2-2, but it is 3-2. Harper in once again. Around the stretch, the 3-2 pitch. Outside, that is ball 4. And down the first will go the third baseman of the Beavers, and he represents the tying run. And the batter now will be the designated hitter, Caleb Giroux. As I mentioned, he is hitting for the shortstop, Noah Powell. Right-handed hitter. Runner at first. They picked up a base runner in the first inning, left him stranded at third. They've got a runner here on in the second. 1-0 Wildcats, 1 out here. Pitch to the plate is evidently a little bit low, maybe inside. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Giroux stands back in. He's hitting in the number 7 slot for the Beavers. First baseman Millsap's on deck for Karns. Oh, that is the 11th batter that Franklin has plunked this year, and that's a painful way to get on base, but there he is, hit by a pitch, and the Beavers now have runners at first and second with 1 out, and the batter, will, as I mentioned, will be the first baseman, Tyler Millsaps. I kind of kidded with Franklin, actually, the other day when he was on the TV show, which is probably just going off the air now, about how many he's actually hit. He leads the team in that category. That pitch is a called strike, or a swinging strike, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Millsaps will be followed by the catcher, Harrison Garrett. They've got runners at first and second, 1 out, and a 1-strike count on the number 8 hitter for the Karns Beavers. Franklin comes to the plate, hit well to right field. Right fielder Caden Updegraff's going to let it drop in front of him. And I thought they might get a force at second. I thought when the ball was hit that it was going to be caught, but Caden wasn't able to get to it in time, and that is a single that drops in front, and they've got the bases loaded with 1 out. And the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Harrison Garrett, will be the batter. Right-handed hitter. Actually thought Caden was going to catch that out in right field, but evidently hit a little bit softer than I thought it was. Bases full of Beavers here. Second inning, Karns trying to get back into the ballgame. Only a 1-0 deficit as they bat here in the second inning. Top of the order on deck for them. So Franklin needs to make some good pitches here. And there's 1 swinging strike, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Harrison has thrown out a base runner trying to steal against him on defense. His first plate appearance of the ballgame. Behind in the count, no balls and 1 strike. Pitch hit hard to the shortstop. There's one at second. The throw back to first. That is a double play. So the Wildcats turn it 6-4-3, and the Beavers are out of the inning. We go to the top of the third inning. The Wildcats still on top of Karns, 1-0. Nice defensive play by the infielders for Oak Ridge. We'll be back with the third inning in a moment. Top of the third inning here from Karns. Pitch to Alex McNaughton, hit on the ground, up the middle, and past the shortstop into center field. The Wildcats have yet another hard hit ball in this one, and their leadoff man is aboard. McNaughton, back-to-back plate appearance where he's hit the ball right on the button, and he's a base runner with nobody out for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge has gotten their leadoff man in all three innings to this one, but they've only been able to score one run. Wildcats have had a couple thrown out, one at the plate, one caught stealing at second. See what they can do at the top of the order here. This is the number 3 hitter, Jacob Franklin. Pitches a ball. The 1 ball, no strikes to count. Alex McNaughton with a couple base knocks here in this one. He's the base runner at first. He scored the Wildcats' only run back in the first inning on the Jonathan Milloway single. Jacob Franklin steps in. 1 ball, no strikes. Calls timeouts, granted by the umpire, and he steps out. Right-handed hitting sophomore stands in for the Wildcats, trying to help himself, his own cause, as he's the Wildcat hurler with a 1-0 lead. He squares to bunt, takes one in the dirt. McNaughton's going to go all the way down. Here's the throw, and they still almost got him. Good arm displayed there by the catcher. The ball was bouncing around. McNaughton had a big lead, and I never thought it would even be close to being close, but he made it really close down in second. And Wildcats have a runner in scoring position. And let's see, third base coach talking with Franklin. Maybe he missed a sign there, didn't get it down. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Jacob back in. Pitch is evidently low and outside. Count is now 3 balls and no strikes. Alex McNaughton, the base runner at second. Top of the third, 1-0 Oak Ridge. Jacob Franklin in. The wind, the pitch to the plate is called strike, and count is 3-1. Jonathan Milloway hit a home run yesterday. He's on deck. He has an RBI single in this ball game. He's waiting on deck. Franklin back in. Ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. Dylan Owens working his third inning of work for the Beavers. Checks the runner. Runner's going to third. Here comes the throw, and he's in there safely with a stolen base. Nice job at stealing for Alex McNaughton, and that is ball 4. And down the first will go Jacob Franklin. Let's see if we get a courtesy runner for him, Wildcat pitcher. And the batter will be Jonathan Milloway. Milloway had an RBI single in the first inning. As I mentioned, he hit a home run yesterday in the Oak Ridge loss. Coach out to talk to Dylan. And let's see what the discussion is about. See if they'll keep him in the ballgame. I would assume they would. He's had a couple hard hit balls and just a little loss of control there on the Franklin. But a really nice job of base running, though, for Oak Ridge's Alex McNaughton. It's hard to get down the third, and McNaughton was able to get there with ease. And the Wildcats have runners on the corners with nobody out here in a 1-0 ball game. In a game we are broadcasting live on YouTube on our Prep Radio channel, as Alex McNaughton went over to have words with the Wildcat head coach Travis Free and several other assistants, and the on-deck man Logan Rosenberger, and the runner Jacob Franklin at first. And Dylan's going to stay in the ballgame here, obviously. Runners on at first and third. Here comes Jonathan Milloway. As I mentioned, Jonathan had a RBI single back in the first inning. Right-handed hitting senior. Looks down the third base line for the sign. Let's see what the big guy can do. Hitting in the number 4 spot for the Wildcat, Oak Ridge Wildcat baseball team. Working from the stretch. Garrett with the sign. And here comes the first pitch to Jonathan Milloway. In there for a called strike at the knees, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. So I mentioned a beautiful night here. The sun is about ready to set here. It's mostly gone. Cool temperatures, not too cold, not bad at all, really. No balls, 1 strike. Here's a throw over to first, and easily back to the bag will go Jacob Franklin. Franklin is the courtesy. It doesn't have a courtesy runner. I would assume if the inning continues, they'll bring him out. He's the base runner at first. Alex McNaughton is down at third base. Here's the pitch. The runner going. Pitch is down low. Oh, I thought Franklin was going, but he didn't go. The ball bounced away a little bit from Garrett, but with the arm that he has displayed, probably wise that he didn't attempt to go to second. Pitch is in the dirt, so it's now 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody out here. Wildcats. Something going here in the third in a 1-0 ball game. Runners on the corners. Good lead for Franklin. Out at first. Dylan checks the runner McNaughton at third. Has the sign. Timeout is asked for by the batter Jonathan Milloway. Got tired of waiting. Granted timeout. And in a moment, we'll have a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Pitch. Right-handed hitting senior. Owens is a right-hander as well. The runner is going. Pitch is hit. There's one on a miss, and that is going to be a stolen base. That time he didn't really want to throw down to second with the runner at third. And now we're going to have the courtesy runner coming into the ball game. It looks like it's going to be Jeremy Miller is going to come into the game. So Miller's going to run for Franklin. And he'll be the runner out at second base. Jonathan Milloway behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Had an RBI single in the first. That's what he's looking for here. Owens trying to get out of trouble. Runners at second and third. Nobody out. Meat of the order up for Oak Ridge. Let's see what he can do with Jonathan Milloway. The pitch outside, a ball that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Third baseman Logan Rosenberger is on deck for Oak Ridge. Milloway stands in. 2 balls, 2 strikes to him. Owens, 2-2 pitch. Did he swing? I think he did. They're going to say it is a strikeout. So that is out number 1. I thought he did swing. He took a kind of a half cut at it, and Umpire makes the call, and I do believe he did swing, and that is out number 1 here in the third inning, and the batter will be the third baseman Logan Rosenberger.
At the plate, number 4.
Logan's playing third base for the Wildcats. Oak Ridge has had a couple guys thrown out today. They have runners at second and third now with number 5 hitter. I was trying to see what Logan did. Looking back what he did, his first plate appearance. Reached base safely on a walk. Swings and he misses. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. Logan will be followed in the order by the designated hitter, Bryce Ludwikowski. 1 out, 2 on. Third inning, 1-0 Oak Ridge. Owens checks the runners. Here's the pitch. Bounced to the plate. Good stop by the catcher. Not a whole lot of foul area behind the catcher. Ball gets loose. It would be very, very hard for somebody to come in and score. Most likely the ball will come off the concrete there and come back to the catcher. So you got to really pick and choose the right time to go if indeed that were to happen. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count. Runners at second and third. Rosenberger back in. The pitch to him is hit to the second baseman who makes the catch for out number 2. Ball was not hit that hard, went right to the second baseman, and that's 2 outs. The Wildcats in danger of stranding a couple more base runners. It's going to take a 2-out hit or somehow to get Ludwikowski on base. The designated hitter stands in. He struck out looking the first time. He's 0 for 1 in the ballgame. Alex McNaughton is the base runner at third. Jeremy Miller is out at second base. They take their leads off of second and third, and here comes Bryce. Right-handed hitting junior, and the pitch to him. There's a called strike right at the knees, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Wildcats have had a lot of base runners, but the Beavers have been able to get out of trouble. The Wildcats, as I mentioned, have also been thrown out a couple times on the base paths. 1 strike, the count. The pitch hit foul and out of play, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Bryce struck out his first plate appearance, caught looking back in the first. Lebowkowski stands in. Dylan Owens trying to work out of a mess. He's done a good job to this point. Bryce steps back in the right-hander hitting batter's box. And here comes an 0-2 pitch. Taking a while. See if Bryce steps out. Nope, it's going to be Owens stepping off the rubber there. Back on the hill he goes here. Looks in for the sign once again. No balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. A little bit high. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alex McNaughton led off with his second hit of the ball game. Then Jacob Franklin reached on a walk. There's been a sacrifice bunt, a strikeout, and a pop out. That pitch is on the inside corner. Evidently 2 inside. Look good from here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. 1-0 Oak Ridge over Karns as the Wildcats bat here in the third. Lebowkowski back in. 2-2 pitch. Hit foul. Once again, count remains at 2. So I mentioned the Wildcats are scheduled to go and play Harriman tomorrow. Forecast is not that good. Friday, the Wildcats road game scheduled at Stone Memorial. We've gotten to be a regular at Stone Memorial and basketball, baseball, and other sports. Not a far trip up to Crossville. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count. Owens once again checks the runners. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Cut on and missed, and that is a swinging strikeout. So good job of pitching there by Dylan Owens. He had a couple runners on. He leaves them stranded. We go to the bottom of the third here at Karns High School. 1-0 Oak Ridge. We'll be back with the bottom of the third in a moment. Welcome back once again to Karns High School. Yes, the cameraman is alive. We just saw the comment on YouTube.
Hi, I'm still here.
That is Christian Roses Rodriguez. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. It's the 1, 2, and 3 hitters in the Karns lineup. The first pitch is down low, ball, 1 ball, and no strikes. You got to feel kind of momentum on the Karns side. The Wildcats have had a ton of base runners, but have only been able to plate 1. Karns has had base runners in each of their innings. That ball is hit to the first baseman, Jonathan Milloway. Kind of a soft line drive, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Batter now will be the right fielder, Jamie Bell. He had a sacrifice bunt back in the first inning. No official plate appearances with his sacrifice. Right-handed hitter, 1 out, nobody aboard here, 1-0. Oak Ridge. Jacob Franklin, the sophomore, working his third inning of work, and his pitch is in there for a called strike. No balls and 1 strike. This is the first 3 hitters in their lineup. Dylan Owens is on deck for Karns. 1 strike the count. Pitch, low. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Christian, I just don't think they realize how hard it is to do a baseball game with 1 camera. It's really, really tough. To do a baseball game right, you have to have multiple cameras. It's really tough. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Pitch is hit on the ground. Right back to Jacob Franklin. Has plenty of time. Throws on the first in time for out number 2. So Bell is retired. 2 up and 2 down here. And the number 3 hitter in the Karns lineup is the pitcher, Dylan Owens. He grounded out to second in the first inning. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. 2 outs, nobody aboard here. And he stands in, right-handed hitter, against the right-handed throwing Jacob Franklin. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground, foul. Up the third base line and out of play. And the count is no balls and 1 strike. So you mentioned just a beautiful night here at Karns. Everybody's sitting around enjoying America's pastime in the Karns community here tonight. 1 strike the count. Jacob Franklin, the 1 strike pitch. Hit him. And down the first will go Owens, and that is the second batter that Jacob has hit in the ballgame, and the 12th batter he has hit this season. They'll get a courtesy runner out of the dugout to run for the pitcher. 2 outs here, runner at first. And the batter is the number 4 hitter, and that is Jackson Fielden. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. He grounded out to the shortstop back in the first inning. Courtesy runner represents the tying run. Good lead off of first. Franklin checks the runner, comes to the plate. Oh, hits him. That's the 3rd guy hit in the ball game by Jacob Franklin. And that is a problem that Jacob has. And Bryson Parks, his catcher, is going to go out to talk to him. His control, for the most part, has been pretty good, except when he hits people. And this is the 3rd time in this ball game that Jacob has plunked one of the opposing batters. And the Beavers now have runners at first and second with 2 outs. And the batter now will be Cole Barnes. Barnes grounded out to second, back in to lead off the second inning. Tying run in scoring position at second. Right-handed pitcher against the left-handed throwing Barnes. Here's the pitch. Called a strike at the belt, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Coles, I mentioned, grounded out to second back in the second inning, 0 for 1 in the ballgame. He'll be followed by Timmy Harper in the Karns lineup. Franklin trying to end the 3rd right here. He's in a mess again of his own making as that pitch is cut on and foul, tipped back to the screen, and the count is 0-2. 2 guys on base. He hit 3 guys in this ball game. Jacob Franklin has plunked tonight, trying to get out of the 3rd here. Both pitchers have had base runners all over the place, but surprisingly enough, it's only a 1-0 ball game. 2 strikes to count. Here's the pitch. It's going to be outside a ball, perhaps a little low, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Broadcasting this game on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio, live stream. The game will be archived as well for people to watch afterwards. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Once again, Barton stands in. Franklin with a sign, the 1-2 pitch. Low and inside, almost hit him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jonathan Milloway is the first baseman for Oak Ridge. Jason Slay is at second. Caden Black at short. Logan Rosenberger at third. Bryson Parks is the catcher. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Way outside, and the runners will move up. So they'll have runners at second and third, and a 3-ball, 2-strike count on Cole Barnes. So a base hit means 2 in the as they'll have, once again, Barnes standing back in, was behind 0-2. He's worked the count full. Jacob hasn't been those strikes. 3 strikes. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 4, so the bases are full of Beavers. Down, they have runners at all over, and the batter will be Timmy Harper. Harper walked his first plate appearance back in the second inning. No official plate appearances. Another right-handed hitter. Wildcats had the bases loaded in the previous inning. The Beavers had their bases loaded in the previous inning. But the Wildcats got out of that with a double play. They only need 1 here. There's 2 outs. But the bases are full. And the pitch hit well into center field. Caught by Matthew Swigert for out number 3. The ball was hit like a bullet. Matthew Swigert was playing shallow anyway. It was a line shot. I thought when the ball left the bat, it was going to be an easy hit in between him and Swigert, but he caught it on a nice diving catch, and that is out number 3. So once again, Franklin wiggles out of trouble. We go to the top of the 4th inning here at Karns, 1-0. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top of the Karns Beavers, and we'll be back on YouTube in a moment. Welcome back once again to Karns High School. Top of the 4th inning. The Wildcats will have their 7, 8, and 9 hitters. Caden Updegraff will be the leadoff man. He doubled to right field his first plate appearance. He is 1 for 1 in the ball game. Swings and misses. The first Dylan Owens offering, and the count is no balls and 1 strike. Pitch hit on the ground over the pitcher's head. Shortstop makes a nice play. Throws on the first in time for out number 1. High hopping bouncer over the top of the pitcher's head. The shortstop fielded it really nicely, and a really, really nice play out there by Noah Powell, and that is out number 1. Batter now will be the catcher, Bryson Parks. Bryson had a sacrifice bunt back in the second inning. The Wildcats left runners at second and third in that inning, failed to score. And here's the first pitch to him. It's outside a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. So I mentioned both pitchers have had a lot of base runners, and both have been able to manage out of it for the most part. Is up high, 2 balls and no strikes. There's a Ton of base runners left on base for both teams. Some nice defensive plays by both teams. A nice job of pitching by Franklin and Owens. There's a called strike, and the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. One out here in the 4th inning. Bryson Parks, the catcher, junior Wildcat, right-handed hitter. Owens comes to the plate. Looked pretty good from here, but it's Savinelli outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Caden Black, the shortstop, is on deck. Reached base safely on a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning. Here's the pitch, cut on a miss, and a good live pitch there from Owens, and the count is full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Parks stays in the batter's box, and he swings and he misses, and that is a swinging strikeout, and that is out number 2. And that is the 5th strikeout, I believe, for Dylan Owens. And the number 9 hitter in the lineup is Caden Black. As I mentioned, he reached on a fielder's choice.
Number 11, Caden
This
Black.
could be the first perfect inning of the ball game if Owens can retire Caden here. 2 up and 2 down for Oak Ridge. Nobody aboard, obviously. 2 outs. Freshman stands in, hits from the left side. Owens comes to the plate. Down low, a ball. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. Top of the order, Matthew Swigert on deck for Oak Ridge. Low scoring affair here, 1-0. Wildcats in the lead. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Down low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Karns trying to sweep the series with the Wildcats this year. They won last night's ball game at Bobby Hopkins. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Called strike at the belt, and the count is 2-1. So as I mentioned, I remember the old Karns field. It was at the middle school. Dwight Smith was the coach then, put it together. Oh, boy. Caden flinches but takes the ball there. 3 balls and 1 strike. I might have jinxed Dylan Owens. I said this could be the first perfect inning of the ball game. We'll see what he can do here with Caden Black. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs. Has the sign. Here's the pitch. That's ball 4. I did jinx him. I'm sorry. Mr. Owens, and that's a base runner for Karns, and down to first will go Caden Black, and the base runner, he'll be the base runner, and the batter will be Matthew Swigert. Matthew had a single and was caught stealing in the 1st inning, was out to the pitcher in the 2nd inning. Bats here with two outs, 1 on, in a 1-0 ball game, top of the 4th inning. Swigert with 2 home runs on the year. Ball in the dirt. Here comes the throw down, and Caden Black is going to get a stolen base, and he's going to head to third. That time, the catcher, he fumbled it. Probably should have held it right there because Caden Black was going to get to second base anyway, and then when he did throw it, he threw it into the dirt. It eluded the cover guys, and it rolled into center field, and Caden is now at third base with a 1 ball, no strike count on Matthew Swigert. Base hit means a run for the Wildcats. Wild pitch, pass ball of any length. As I said, there's not a whole lot of foul territory here. That pitch is a ball. Good stop there by the catcher. 2 balls and no strikes. Wildcats have Alex McNaughton on deck. Alex has 2 hits in the ball game. I think Owens wants to get Matthew Swigert right here. Runner at third, Caden Black. 2-out walk, and he's at third. 2-0 pitch to Matthew Swigert. Hit on the ground to the shortstop. Fields it cleanly. Double pumps, throws it low, and drops the ball. The Wildcats score a run. Nice defensive play by the shortstop for sure. He bounced the throw up there, and it just couldn't be dug out by the first baseman, and the Wildcats have their second run. In to score, the run for the Wildcats is Caden Black, so the error by the catcher comes to haunt the Beavers, and Matthew Swigert is aboard. And Oak Ridge now has a 2-0 lead here in the fourth inning, and their batter is Alex McNaughton.
That's number 2, Alex McNaughton.
Alex is 2 for 2 in the ball game. Scored the Wildcats' first run back in the first inning. Right-handed hitting junior. 2-0 Wildcats. Swigert, the base runner, down at first. He was caught stealing back in the first inning. And draws the throw once again from Dillon, and back to the bag he goes safely. No count as of yet on the batter, Alex McNaughton. Jonathan Milloway, actually Jacob Franklin on deck for the Wildcats. Here's the pitch, hit on the ground, right back to the pitcher. He fields it cleanly, runs halfway to the first base bag, tosses underhand to the first baseman, and that is out number 3. But the Wildcats played a run, and they now lead at 2-0. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. 2-0 Oak Ridge, back for the bottom of the fourth in a moment. Lower third of the Karns lineup to face Jacob Franklin here in the fourth inning. The Wildcats put another run on the board. Still very, very tight, obviously, here. Only a 2-0 lead for the Wildcats, but much better than it has been. Jacob Franklin has worked in and out of trouble all night long, but has posted a shutout to this point. He'll be facing Caleb Giroux here. He's the designated hitter. See what he did in his first plate appearance. As the first pitch from Franklin is a called strike. He was hit by a pitch, one of 3 Beavers that have been hit by Jacob Franklin. Jacob's ahead in the count. No balls and 1 strike. Nobody aboard, nobody out here. Fourth inning, 2-0 Oak Ridge. Here's the pitch. That one's outside. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Christian doing our camera work here tonight. We appreciate him. We broadcast this one on YouTube. The Covering the Base show, obviously it's Wednesday night. That pitch is cut on and missed, and the count is 1-2. Our Covering the Bases show, which runs each and every Wednesday night from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Obviously, we had to tape the show that aired tonight. It features Mitchell Gibbons and our starting pitcher out there, Jacob Franklin. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Down low, skips away a little bit, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. You can go to Facebook, you can go to BBB's homepage, and you can watch the replay of the show. Or if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can look at the link that we have up. It'll run at midnight again tonight, and we're actually going to run it next week too. 2-2 pitch hit on the ground softly to the first baseman, Jonathan Milloway, with those long legs. He's able to extend to first base to retire the leadoff man for Karns. So that is the first out of the inning. And the batter now will be the first baseman, Tyler Millsaps. See what Tyler's done in the ball game. Reach base. Back in the second inning. Right-handed hitter. And Franklin comes to the plate outside. And the count is 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody aboard, 1 out here. Bottom of the fourth inning here at Karns. District 3 contest here. Live on YouTube. Appreciate you watching our broadcast. Here's Franklin's pitch way up high. 2 balls and no strikes. He doesn't usually miss high. He might be getting tired here, the sophomore. Had a lot of base runners, just thrown a lot of pitches here 1 ball, no strikes the count. Here's the sign by Parks. That hits him. That is the fourth batter that Jacob Franklin has hit. And down the first will go Tyler Millsaps. And that is I believe, the 14th or 15th he's hit this year. Number 9 hitter, the catcher, Harrison Garrett, stands in. He hit into an inning-ending double play, a 6-4-3 double play, which ended a threat back in the second inning. Hit the ball hard, but right to the shortstop. He's 0 for 1. Pitch is low and outside. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Christian doing camera work here for us. Fourth inning, 2-0 Wildcats here. Tying run at the plate in the person of the catcher, Harrison Garrett. Heading the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Franklin checks the runner, short lead at first. Here's the pitch, hit on the ground to the shortstop again. They can't field it. Caden can't come up with it. He turned to double play his last time, but the freshman can't turn it this time. That'll be an error on the shortstop, and the Beavers have runners at first and second, 1 out, and to the top of the order we go. That was a tailor-made double play, like it was in the second inning, but the freshman couldn't come up with it, and they've got runners at first and second. And back to the top of the order we go to Clayton Hogstad. He, lined out to first back in the third inning and singled in the first. He is 1 for 1 in the ball game. Milloway kind of deking the runner at first as they're going to go to third. Here comes Parks' throw, and he is going to be safe. Parks thought he had him. Good job of running right there by the runner from second, and he is down there. They've got runners on the corners with a 1 ball, no strike count. Coach Free barking out something to his team out on the field for the Wildcats. Runners on the corners here, 1 out, 2-0 the score. Hogstad, the runner, he is the leadoff man in the Karns lineup. He's ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes. Big lead there at first. There's a called strike, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Rosenberger kind of on the dirt there at third. Milloway holding the runner on at first. Infield, regular depth. Once again, right-handed hitter. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Looks like one of the lights has just gone out here at Karns, just right above the home plate area. And looks like it's burned out. Can't really tell. It got dark all of a sudden. What does it look like on the camera there? It's still dark anyway. But umpire stopped play there for a second. Coaches for Karns come in. I don't know. There's not much they can do. Yeah, it's the one on the end there. It looks like it just blew, honestly. And, it's not like the whole bank went out. It's just one individual light that went out on the pole, which is on the first base side, really above the home plate area. It has darkened it for sure. And we'll see what they decide to do there. Everyone kind of staring up at it, but if it's a blown light, there's not a whole lot you can do right now. I know it's darkened, but I'm sure they can still play a little bit. I see both coaches talking about it, both umpires in that discussion. In a moment, we'll have a 1 ball, 1 strike count. We'll see how this plays out here. Like I said, it's not a whole bank of lights. It is just one light on the end of the bank of lights. The conversation a lot longer than I actually anticipated it being. That would be an easy, quick decision. Either play on or don't play. I mean, it's pretty simple in my book. But the Oak Ridge coach making his point to the umpire, Karns coach listening to it. Play is halted as we try to figure out what they want to do here. We have a 1 ball, 1 strike count. The Beavers have runners at first and at third. They trail Oak Ridge 2-0 as the Beavers bat here in the fourth. Both pitchers have, as I mentioned, have gotten in and out of trouble all night long, and both pitchers have been able to make plays. Owens would have been out probably of the top half of the fourth inning they had not had an error in that one that caused the second run to score. Conversation is still taking place between the umpires, and right down there, I was going to get Christian to kind of close in on the umpires and the coaches here. The coaches are going back to the back of the backstop to see if it is too dark to continue to play. It becomes a safety issue, I guess. I mean, you got a projectile coming at you at 85 miles an hour. I mean, it is pretty dangerous, although it looks like it wants to come back on. It looks like it is coming. It's partially coming on. It's kind of flickering just a bit. The fans are watching it intensely to see if that light is going to come back on. It is flickering a little bit. Now off it goes. You might hear the groan of the crowd here. It looked like it wanted to come back on, but it didn't. And the crowd was into it for a second, and then not so much. And the umpires are talking with the athletic director here at Karns High School, Mr. J.D. Overton, about what they want to do. As we play here in the fourth inning, play is halted. Oak Ridge in the lead by a score of 2-0. I'm going to take a quick break here while they try to figure out what they want to do. Gives me an opportunity to rest just a bit. Oak Ridge on top 2-0. We'll be back in a moment. Back here at Karns High School, Coach Free has taken his team off the field and is talking with them over by first base. And now another light bank goes off. Maybe they're going to turn them off and turn them back on and see if they all come back on. Hopefully we won't lose power here. I don't know if that's an option here. But I know the other bank closest to us has gone off. But what I'm wondering is if they turn them off on purpose to maybe turn it back on and hope that one light will come back on. But Oak Ridge is off the field and over towards their dugout. The Beavers are in their dugout now. The umpires are still standing behind the plate. Obviously, some decision has been made. We will relay it to you as soon as possible. Right now, Oak Ridge has a 2-0 lead. Karns is batting in the bottom of the fourth with a 1-ball, 1-strike count on their hitter. There's one out. But we're in the dark here. It's one of those kind of things can't do much about. We've had several football games over the years. I remember the lights going out. I remember once at Karns, the lights went out at the football field, and we had to play the following day. That was probably back in the 90s, I believe. We've had a game against Farragut at Blankenship Field on senior night where the lights didn't come back on until about 9:30 or 10. They still went ahead with the senior night activities before the game, which infuriated a lot of the Farragut people. Still waiting to find the definitive word here. All I know is the lights closest to the home plate area are off, and it is dark. I don't know if you can even really tell Yeah, looking at the screen now, it looks like you can tell. Um, Umpire meeting with the Karns coaches now here. I guess we might have a suspended ball game here, just by the body language here and by the Wildcats in their dugout and the Beavers in their dugout, and suspended game. Hopefully, before we go off the air, we'll find out if indeed that is going to be the case. We'll find out when this game will be resumed. We're in the fourth inning, 2-0 Oak Ridge. Coach Free over to get involved with the conversation once again with the umpires and the coach. And it is dark around the home plate area. Obviously, if this light bank is off for any length of time, and obviously that's it's way too dark, I kind of thought, honestly, they might be able to play with that one light out. But as I mentioned, a safety issue for sure. You don't want to get involved with you not being able to see a ball come in, especially the way Jacob Franklin's been plunking people all during the course of the ball game. Just kidding, Jacob. But still waiting for the definitive word. The Wildcats, some of them are warming up down there in their dugout in the bright lit area. If you're a Braves fan, I'll let you know the Braves won 2 games today after losing their first 4. They're now 2-4. Off tomorrow, head to Atlanta on Friday to take on the Philadelphia Phillies, who are leading the division currently. Here come 2 more Karns coaches involved with the conversations. They're just kind of staring up at the lights. That's really not going to get it fixed.
They won't. I mean, I thought they could keep playing without one light, but
that's Christian, one of the few times, and maybe the only time, that he's ever spoken. He did say something earlier. That's twice in the same game. But now the 4th Karns coach is involved. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. It is dangerous for that ball to be coming in if you can't see it. That's the one safety concern. But with these lights out here, if they weren't turned off deliberately, then there's absolutely no way they can play, because it is really, really dark. And Wildcats are goofing around. They look like they're getting ready to head on out of here. I haven't really seen any much movement. Some of the fans are heading out of Karns High School. I'll continue to talk until I know exactly what is going to happen. And this would be a weird way, a suspended ball game on YouTube on our live stream, and whether we'd be able to pick it up where it left off, who knows? Because we don't even know when it would be. Oak Ridge has a game scheduled for tomorrow. They have a game scheduled for Friday as well, as they continue to stare up at that light bank up there. That is off. I don't need to stare at it. I can see that it's off. It's dark. And, yeah, well, maybe, as we wait and wait and wait, conversation taking place. I'm going to take a break here so I can quit talking. Hopefully, as the Wildcats are down in the light warming up, the Beavers are warming up to our left. And we'll take a break here. We're live on our YouTube stream. The Wildcats lead Karns 2-0. We'll be back in a moment.
I mean, I don't have to visit all the time, but I really love cutest place in the world. Well, that's how when they were in I mean, go to bed, and I went, yeah, so, well, the good thing about the balcony room is you go to bed, and then you wake up and you got just
If you just tuned into our YouTube stream, we are still here at Karns in a delay here. The couple of light banks here on the field here have gone out, and the conversation continues between the coaching staff and the umpires and what they want to do. Right now, Oak Ridge is in the lead 2-0, but the Beavers are threatening with runners at first and third when we resume. If we resume tonight, their batter will have a 1-ball, 1-strike count and 1 out. What happened, if you just tuned in, one light on the first base side, right above the home plate area, one light out of about, looks like about 5 or 6 lights up there. One light went out, and it got noticeably dimmer. It wasn't dark, but it was dimmer, and they stopped play immediately when that happened. And then that they've, I think, turned off the other all the lights here on even the lights here on the third base side as well. So there is no light around the home plate area right now. And honestly, I don't know what they're honestly waiting for. Waiting for electricians to come and fix it. I guess they're determining what the rules and regulations are, when they can reschedule, what the rules and regulations are. Will they have to resume the game? Will the lights come on? Whatever it is, it's a long discussion. And when I find out what it is, we'll pass it along. But I can tell you the score. It's 2-0, Oak Ridge. And we'll hopefully have some resolution here in a moment.
and I didn't resent that. Well, the kids get, the girls now are like, Mom, how did you stand it? Because I love your nephew. How did you stand it? I don't know. I love him. We had a great time together. So, you think about well, back to the I remember one time when the kids were little, because I was really involved in church. So when they were in school, I volunteered in school, and I was in and he was at work, and I was taking them to church on Wednesday night. I knew he wouldn't be home until he got up to go to bed because we were doing a children's event. So when I got to the house, there was a post-it note on the mailbox. And all the way up every post at the door saying how much you love me. And then they were in the refrigerator, they were in the last one on his back, telling me how much he loved me because we didn't, he worked all the time and I just stayed so busy and active. Oh, Jess. That's all right. Well, it was all right. Now you don't get to the restaurant. But, I mean, you can love that.
They're clearing here at Karns High School along with Christian Rosas Rodriguez. We are still in our light delay, not lightning delay, but a light delay here as we're waiting for the lights to come back on here, and they are coming back on slowly around the home plate area. Wildcats in a 2-0 ball game. The Beavers have runners at first and third. If and when we resume here in the fourth inning with one out, is definitely getting brighter for sure. Here the lights are actually above us, pointing down to the stands here, and the conversation continues. The Wildcats are warming up down the right field line. The Beavers are kind of warming up on the left field side. Eventually, we'll have baseball, we think, from Karns High School. We'll see as this conversation continues to go on between Travis Free, the head coach of the Wildcats, and the head coach here at Karns, and the two umpires. The umpires have made no move, to end this game or delay it in any way. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. I really don't have much to tell you. I guess I can run through what's happened during the course of the game. The Wildcats do have a 2-0 lead. The Wildcats scored in the first inning a single by Alex McDonald as in the ball game by an RBI single Millaway. The Wildcats had base runners in the third and the fourth. Wildcats played a second run in the top half of the inning with Caden Black walked, able to reach after the guys have been retired, and then everybody trying to get Black out of second ball into center field, and Caden was able to go all the way to third, and he came in on a play off the bat of Matthew. The ball was hit to the shortstop. He fielded it through low, bounced at the plate, and the first base. The first baseman couldn't dig it out, and the second run came in to score. The Beavers, though, have mounted threats in most of their innings as well. As I look at it, they've had base runners all over the place. In fact, twice they've had the bases loaded. We had an inning-ending double play, a 6-4-3 double play in the second inning that ended one threat. Right now they've got runners at first and third with one out. And if we resume here tonight, they will have the top of the order batting. So they've got who they want up here with runners at first and third as we're still waiting for the lights to come on. It does seem like it is brighter up in the stands anyway. There's one light here that's just directly pointing down at us, kind of like almost like safety lights or whatever, but they're not really illuminating the area around the home plate area, probably light enough for them to play baseball, but we'll see. So I'm going to turn off the mic here because they're playing music on the PA here, and when music goes on our YouTube stream, the YouTube people get us for copyright violations. So I'm going to turn the mic off here, and hopefully we'll have some resolution to the situation here. 2-0 Oak Ridge. We'll be back in a moment. Back here once again on YouTube here, still waiting. The lights have come back on with the exception of the one light that seemed to blow and cause the delay in the first place. That light is still off on that bank of lights here, and whether they decide to play on with it being off, that's the reason they stopped the game in the first place. That one light went off. Let's see if we can get Christian. I don't know what it'll look like on the tape there. Well, I can show you what. It's just one light now. Don't even worry about it. It would be too bright anyway. Let's hold off here. But they stopped the game because that one light went off, and then that whole bank went off, and they started the lights up again, and that one light is still off. So if they resume play, it's because they just want to resume play, and the safety reasons why they stopped it. I see the umpire signing something, writing something down. Not exactly sure what he's writing down, but I know the rest of the Oak Ridge coaching staff is watching. The Wildcats are still kind of warming up. Some of them are just kind of milling around the home plate area in the dark, talking to girlfriends and family. As we Wildcats have a 2-0 lead here, and I believe he has just called somebody down from the press box, and I think they're probably not going to resume the ball game. They're getting the PA announcer over here, and we'll find out here in a second. The Wildcats are in front, 2-0, as we play here in the fourth inning with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. And the umpire's coming over to talk to the PA announcer here, and they're probably relaying some information to him to announce to us here. And I hope we'll be able to resume this ball game on our YouTube stream. Obviously, it won't be tonight, but Coach Free is returning back to the Oak Ridge dugout, and I haven't really seen. Coach Free is going to group the Wildcats together again around the first base bag, and let's see if they're going to head on out of here. I haven't seen any movement in the dugout to grab their bags and such to move on out of here. I see the umpire and the Karns coaching staff talking over, and they're writing down information there. And my guess is they're not going to continue this game, but who knows? I'll wait and find out when everyone else here in the Karns High School baseball facility, the Dwight Smith Field. Dwight Smith used to be the coach, longtime coach at Karns High School. Used to see him around here. Hope he's doing okay. I know he had some health issues a while back and hopefully got over that, and has built a couple nice fields here. One over the other field I talked about earlier. Just a good guy. I actually used to enjoy talking to him outside of baseball. He'd come to all the Karns sporting events and got a chance to actually know him, to be honest with you. Just a really, really good guy the field is named for. Actually got a chance to talk to Bobby Hopkins. That tells you how old I am. I actually talked to Bobby Hopkins one time. He passed away when I was young, back when I was real young, back in high school, but got a chance to meet him one time, and his brother as well. As Wildcats are still kind of wandering around as if they're going to play some more baseball. I haven't. Bryson Parks, our catcher, is yet to take off the catching gear, and now once again the Wildcat coaches are in a circle talking and discussing, and the Karns coach is wandering over to talk to Coach Free as well. The umpires have made some determination. Karns coaching staff returning back to their dugout to tell the Beavers what's going on. I see people starting to pack up their gear and head on out, and we're about to have the announcement here on the public address system. Looks like we are not going to be able to resume this ball game. The chairs are being folded up, and the people are headed out. Byington Solvay here, and here we go. We'll have an announcement here in a second. Here it is.
Game has been suspended. Will continue. Time to be determined.
They have said the game has been suspended, and we will continue the game at a time and date to be determined later. So I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It was kind of out of our control here. The Wildcats do have the lead, though. 2-0 is our score. We're in the 4th inning here at Karns High School, and that's where we leave you here on our YouTube stream. We're going to close it out here. Christian, appreciate your camera work here. My name is David Clary. Oak Ridge and Karns, the game suspended in the 4th inning with 1 out. 2-0, the Wildcats in the lead. Until the next time we do a ball game on YouTube, and we don't have a schedule for that, this is David Clary saying, so long, everybody.